The craving was borrowed from thought. You were addicted to the story, not the sensation. The craving was borrowed from thought. Look closely. Did the body ever say in words, I need sex right now? No. The body sent a signal, a pulse, a movement of energy. Then thought arrived, and thought said, this is sexual. This needs to be satisfied. This will feel good. Now the sensation is no longer raw, it is interpreted. Borrowed means this: the intensity you feel does not belong to the sensation, it belongs to the meaning thought placed on it. Take away the meaning, what remains? A vibration, a flicker, something small. You are not dealing with a powerful force, you are dealing with a misread signal. You are addicted to the story, not the sensation. If sensation was the problem, then simply feeling it would satisfy you. But it doesn't. You don't just feel, you continue. Watch what happens. One image comes. You don't stop there. You extend it. Scene becomes longer. People become clearer. Outcomes become vivid. You are directing a film. And then you say, the urge is strong. No, the story is long. The addiction is not to the body. It is to imagination, anticipation, mental stimulation. The sensation is just the trigger. The story is the drug. See the difference clearly. Sensation is present. Story is projected. Sensation has no future. Story is always about what comes next. That next is what hooks you, not the now. If you are locked in the present with no ability to imagine the next moment, this craving would collapse instantly. So understand this deeply. You are not pulled by the body, you are pulled by the movie you keep playing. And here is the quiet truth most people never see. The moment you stop narrating, the urge loses its script. And without a script, it has no role to play. The craving cannot survive without your participation. It needs your imagination, your memory, your mental images. Without that, it's just raw sensation, and raw sensation is not a problem. The craving cannot survive without your participation. This is not philosophy, it's mechanics. What actually shows up first? Not sex, a sensation, maybe a warmth in the groin, a subtle restlessness in the body, a slight agitation. At this stage, it's neutral, no suffering yet, no urgency yet. The mind enters. Now something very specific happens. Almost instantly, the mind supplies an image, a body, a memory, a scene, a narrative. This would feel good. I need this. A continuation. What if this happens next? This is participation. You didn't just observe the sensation, you fed it fuel. Amplification. Watch carefully. The sensation plus imagination is intensity. Without imagination, the sensation is like a small spark. With imagination, it becomes a fire. Why? Because the body reacts to images as if they are real. So now, heart rate shifts, hormones respond, tension builds, and you say, the craving is too strong. No, the loop is strong. Identification. Now comes the most subtle distortion. Instead of seeing there is a sensation plus images happening, you say, I want sex. This is a psychological collapse. You merged the body, the images, the observer into one identity. Now it feels personal, urgent, real, the illusion of necessity. At this point, it feels like this must be satisfied, this won't go away, this is natural and therefore must be acted on. But test it. The experiment, this is where clarity comes. Next time it arises, do this. Freeze the imagination. No images, no fantasy, no continuation of thoughts. Keep attention only on the raw sensation, not the idea of it, the actual physical feeling. Now observe. Does it grow or shrink? Does it stay stable or fluctuate? Does it demand action or just exist? If you are honest, you'll see without images, it cannot sustain intensity. It becomes a wave, a pulse, something that rises and falls on its own. Why raw sensation is not a problem? Because sensation by itself has no story, has no future, has no demand. It doesn't say go watch porn, go chase someone, you are missing out. That's all mind generated. The real addiction. You are not addicted to sex, you are addicted to imagining, mentally stimulating yourself, escaping into intensity. Sex is just the most powerful version of that loop. Brutal clarity. If I remove your memory, your imagination, would this craving even exist in the same way? No. There would just be energy in the body. That's it. What changes when you see this? You stop fighting the wrong thing. You don't try to kill desire. You simply stop feeding the loop. And when the loop isn't fed, it dies on its own. Not permanently, but every single time. Look at this deeply. The sensation is innocent. The imagination is the multiplier. Identification is the trap. See all three clearly, and the thing you called craving starts to lose its authority. Listen, there is a man walking through a desert. The sun is not harsh. The wind is not violent. Nothing is attacking him, and yet he is restless. As he walks, a faint sensation arises in his throat, a slight dryness, nothing dramatic, just a signal from the body. At this moment, there is no suffering. Then the mind speaks. It says, water, not as a fact, as a promise. Suddenly, the man remembers cold streams, sweet drinks, the feeling of relief. Images flood in. Now, the dryness is no longer a sensation, it becomes a problem. He starts imagining more. A glass, condensation on the surface, the first sip, the body reacts, the throat feels drier, the chest tightens, urgency is born. Now he says, I am thirsty. But look closely. Minutes ago, there was only a mild dryness. Now there is desperation. What changed? Not the desert, not the body. The imagination entered. He begins to run, not because the body demanded it, but because the mind painted a world more intense than reality. Hours later, exhausted, he collapses. The image fades, the stories weaken, and what remains? The same dryness. No longer dramatic, no longer urgent, just a sensation. In that quiet moment, a realization appears. The desert did not torment me, my imagination did. This is your craving. The body whispers, the mind writes poetry about it. And then you suffer the poetry as if it were truth. You are not being chased, you are chasing your own projections. If the man had simply walked, felt the dryness, without turning it into a story, there would be no madness, just a man in a desert with a sensation in his throat. Understand this. The world does not seduce you, your mind seduces you and then blames the world. So the next time the thirst comes, don't run, don't fantasize about water, just feel the dryness and watch how quickly the desert becomes silent again. You think there is a powerful desire and I must control it. That's already the first mistake, because now you made the craving is powerful, yourself weak, the situation a battle. None of that is true. What is actually happening, layer by layer? There are 3 layers. Miss even one and you stay trapped. The sensation, innocent. Something arises in the body, heat, pressure, movement of energy. This is not sexual craving, it is just life energy moving. The body does this all the time. Hunger, fatigue, restlessness, no problem here. If you stayed only here, there would be zero psychological struggle. The imagination, multiplier, now thought enters. Not gently, creatively. It starts producing images, memories, scenarios, possibilities. And here's the key. The body reacts to imagination as if it is real. So now, the sensation intensifies. The chemistry shifts. The urge feels stronger. You think the body increased the signal. It didn't. You increased the input. Identification, the trap. This is where it becomes your problem. Instead of seeing there is a sensation plus imagination happening, you say, I'm horny, I need this, I can't resist this. Now it's personal, now it's urgent, now it owns you. Why this becomes addiction? Because the loop is self reinforcing. Sensation appears, you imagine, it intensifies, you identify, you act or suppress. The brain learns this loop is stimulation. So next time it runs faster, stronger, earlier. The real addiction, say this clearly, it's not sex, it's not even the body, it's this. You enjoy being taken out of your own ordinary state. Imagination gives you intensity, escape, stimulation, a break from boredom, emptiness, or silence. Sex is just the highest voltage version of that. What happens when you stop feeding the loop? This is not suppression, this is not discipline, this is non participation. When sensation arises, you don't add images, you don't continue thoughts, you don't build scenarios, you just stay with raw physical sensation. Now watch what happens. Without imagination, the sensation cannot escalate. It has no storyline, it has no direction. It becomes unstable and then it dissolves. Why it dies on its own? Because it was never self sustaining. It needed your attention, your imagination, your identification. Remove those and it has no fuel. But here's the part people don't like, it will come back, not because it's powerful, but because the body still produces sensations and the mind is still conditioned to imagine. But now something is different. Each time you see the loop clearly, it loses credibility. Not through effort, through exposure, the shift. This is the real freedom. Before, I have to fight this. After, I see how this is being created. Before, this is too strong. After, this only exists when I participate. Before, I need to control myself. After, there is nothing to control if I don't feed it. The final clarity, read this slowly. The sensation is innocent. The imagination is the multiplier. Identification is the trap. Miss this and you will keep fighting shadows. See this clearly and the whole structure weakens from the root. You don't become desireless, you become undeceived, and that changes everything. So listen, you were never fighting desire, you were fighting a loop you didn't see. A sensation appeared, thought turned it into a story. You believed the story, and then you called it craving. The body was never the problem. The sensation was small, innocent, passing. It was the imagination that magnified it. It was identification that made it personal. It was participation that made it persistent. There is nothing to suppress. There is nothing to control. There is only something to see. When you stop feeding the loop, no images, no continuation, no identification, what remains is just sensation. And sensation rises and falls on its own. You don't conquer desire. You outgrow the illusion that it had power over you. Final line. It was never about resisting the craving. It was about seeing that it was never real in the way you thought.